Generic conventions. The meaning of generic conventions is the typical features expected within a genre. And our genre is crime and action. We researched on our genre through YouTube and Pearl and Dean Business.
The main research that we done was kidulthood, adulthood, American Gangster and Scarface.
From research we found that the typical features of this genre is a theme of violence and revenge, aggression.
Binary opposites of power and weakness, so you need both of them to actually be in a film to make sense or to have some sort of meaning.
It's also a male-dominated cast, and the locations are dark. The costumes represent the genre.
Yeah, street locations like boiler rooms, warehouses.
You know, in this specific genre, crime, action, thriller, it's about props such as knives, money, cars.
All of these consist in the research we've done in all of the 4 main films that we looked at, all of them had that.
And especially for kidulthood and adulthood, mainly all the youths, they were wearing hoodies.
In the film Scarface and American Gangster, the older people are wearing suits, whereas in kidulthood and adulthood, they are all wearing hoodies.
Basically, the costume of hoodies and suits symbolizes like professional, more like wise.
Mature,
wise, basically mature, and hoodies they show like more of a youth, like more. What's the word for it?
It's more of a teenage thing.
Yeah.
The sound that we found out from the research, it was hard and it was on point.
You had a steady beat, you had to go with
the film.
Yeah.
The titles were bold, it stood out, it represented them. It represented the genre. It stood out, it was bold, it was white, it was eye-catching.
We conform to the generic conventions because you know that as we discussed earlier on, we found that there's typical stuff that happen, so tension, all these stuffs, it's fine.
The use of props, spanners, knives, etc.
The male-dominated cast were all boys.
And also locations, we used dark alleys, the boiler room as a warehouse, car boot scene, etc.
Yeah, our whole film is basically set in the city urban streets. That's where most crime happens. We use the boiler room because it's secretive and concealed, perfect for kidnapping, for the kidnapping scene.
We used a strong, steady beat music that was hard hitting.
So it conformed, right?
Yeah, it conformed to our stereotype.
We made our music on a website called Fruit Loops.
Our titles was white, bold, and it was red as well. The reason why it was red because it connote danger. So therefore, this conformed to the generic conventions of crime, action, and thriller. We challenge our generic conventions by mainly our cast.
In particular, the ethnicity. So you see here, all of our actors were Asian, apart from Abdi, who was black.
In our research, we saw that there wasn't any Bengali Asian boys portrayed in this genre.
Usually in today's world, in films, Asian actors, they're normally stereotyped to be doctors, studying to be doctors or lawyers, but in our film, they're more of the gangster type.
Who would be our target audience for our film? So basically, we researched into many films. However, we researched on 2 specific films, Kidulthood and American Gangster. Okay, and we found out that mostly 15 to 25, this age group, they watch this.
Because our characters the actors that are in the film are mostly at a young age, I think our film will attract a young age because it kind of represents them. So that's why I think we've done that.
And it would mostly represent males as well because it's more violent.
You see more males doing crimes rather than women.
Yeah. And this area stuff is basically more of a male's thing. So it would relate to them.
Basically our whole film it's got to do with like the area fights that these days the youth gangs have. That's why I think it's gonna be more like our audience is gonna be more towards the youth as well.
And it's more modernized.
we looked at in the website Pearl and Dean, and shows that all the films that related to crime, thriller, action, mostly men are watching this specific film, and the age group again, it was mainly middle age to youth.
With the music research we've done, basically kids our age listen to grime music. They don't listen to hip hop. They do, but not as much as grime, because grime's kind of more street. It's more urban.
It will represent to them.
Yes, more and
it'll get them more involved.
Yeah, and the story behind grime is kind of why they kind of listen to it, because they can relate to it.
As you can see in contemporary UK, there's many gangs, okay? And there's many Asian gangs as well.
The gang violence is mostly in East London, basically.
Yeah, definitely. You know, for example, in contemporary evidence was, you know, the riots that occurred last year, okay? And majority was Asians and blacks and whites, basically all ethnic backgrounds. They were in the riot, and they stole, they violent, they even destroyed vehicles, etc.
And most of them wore hoodies.
The early evening. The police said they would have more officers on the streets of London tonight.
Hoodies showed that the actors are trying to be intimidating towards another person. From my past experience of going to a shopping centre with a hoodie on, I got stopped and they said for me to take my hoodie off. And I said, why? Because they said, you're intimidating to other customers around the shopping centre. So that's why I take my hoodie off, and that's how we tried showing in our film that when wearing a hoodie and covering your face up, it could be intimidating to another person.
From Kid Up, basically, we enjoyed watching it first and foremost, which made us want to do that kind of film, because we wanted it to relate to our kind of age.
Yeah, and another thing, Kid Up with an Animal, they were kind of low budget film as well. That would be seen before.
And based around the area, East London, that's how we tried doing our film as well. Not trying to be done in our film.
How do we attract our audience? We attracted our audience through music, and our music genre was grime.
Grime is basically what little kids or youths nowadays listen to or they inspire to. They rap due to grime instrumentals, YouTube beats to become famous or known.
I pour expensive drinks for my niggas in the grave and my niggas in prison. Trying to make more money to buy more food for my niggas in the kitchen. So if you ain't talking about paper, sorry G, I don't wanna listen.
Another reason how we attracted the audience was through the way the costume was used in our media product.
Yeah, we think that nowadays they wear hoodies, and we think that they would like to see their sort of clothing style in films. That's what they'll be attracted to.
Another reason may be that, you know, they're represented negative in media, so they're not they're negatively represented in media. So through settings, props, and costume.
As you see in other films that we've researched, Kidulthood and Adulthood, you see the sayings, it's all trashed, the graffiti on the wall, there's beer cans on the floor, the sayings all messed up.
It shows that the youth, they're deviant.
Yeah, this is the setting we try to recreate.
Yeah, we think that the youth would like to see how their lifestyle is on TV or on the big screen. So they'll be attracted to it.
One good example of props that we used in our media product was knives. Nowadays, as you know, knives, there's a lot of knife crimes, and especially committed by youths. Youths are stereotyped to be the villain. This will attract our audience, as youths nowadays, they like to see gore, blood and revenge, etc.